do? I thought, well, maybe I used to have a Baryshnikov rendition of impressions, but then I thought, I can't believe it. I want to do this Baryshnikov thing, and my tutus and the cleaners. Actually, I got a little overexcited doing some leak press practices, and at my age, and then tutus and the cleaners. Well, then I thought, well, maybe just a few words are going to have to suffice, and I thought, well, shoot, that's going to be all disjointed because my writers are all still on strike. But I think I'll try it from that end, and as disjointed as it might be, I first want to thank all of you kids for what you put together. I just can't believe it. What a job. Second, for Tony and I, after these many, many years together, are still madly in love. I'm madly in love with me, and she's madly in love with me. No, wrong, back on. Liar, liar, cancel. Actually, we've had this incredible number of wonderful birthdays together. But I don't think we could ever have one that would top this one. And one of the big reasons is kind of the icing on this cake, and that's, as Tim mentioned, all of you who just took the time and had the love to, be a part of this. So that's pretty amazing to have such magnificent, loving friends, and we really do appreciate it. But talk's cheap, so to put some meat of appreciation on this appreciation that we have, I need to let you know that I've been in touch with Oprah. Although Oprah had to forego the pleasure of being here, she did agree as part of this celebration that everyone in attendance here today, when they leave, will be given the keys to a brand new 2008 Suburban Hybrid SUV, the most fuel efficient vehicle. Anyway, so much for the heartfelt thanks. But I actually did want to make a few comments about the birthday girl. First, you might be surprised to learn that it's not necessarily a bed of roses to be married to a gorgeous 70-year-old. Now, one of the things that comes to mind is it seems like it's happened to me so many times. We'll be downtown or somewhere with Tony, and a friend of mine, a fishing buddy or golf guy, will walk by across the street, we'll wave and say hi, and the next time I see him, I know what he's going to say. He says, "Gosh, you've sure got an attractive daughter." I don't know, is that a good deal or what? Anyway, I have learned a lot making this journey with Tony. One of the things I learned is that for the majority of my life, for all my life, I thought that the only vehicle in the universe that could travel faster than warp speed was the Starship Enterprise. But I've come to find out that no, Tony travels at that speed almost all the time. And sometimes several days will go by and I won't even lay eyes on her. And there'll be a sonic boom, and I recognize it every time. Oh, there she goes, and I guess she must be all right. So I learned that. I also learned a great lesson. That's the one I put in the program, and that says that Tony's belief that the glass is always half full. And it's just a real truism, and it's certainly helped me to realize that. And I don't match her standard there, but it's kind of a deal like she's such a firm believer that honey draws more flies than vinegar. That must be an old Okie expression, but it's kind of the same thing. It's a real kind of upbeat that's I think is what allows her to work as hard as she does and do as much as she does. Because one of the other things that I've learned from her, I mean, through all my education, physics classes, etc., I'd always been taught that you can't put 10 pounds in a 5-pound bag. But you know what? She's up to 7 or 8. And I have no doubt that she's going to get to the 10. So that's pretty amazing. And actually, the last one that I'll mention is Tony's belief that you should just never lose your cool. And I kind of have tried to get that from her, and I know, though, that she got that from someone else. She got that from her old grandma, Granny Taylor, who was born and raised in the Indian Territories of Oklahoma. And in her later years, she was in her 90s, we fixed her up in a little house in Enumclaw, and she was doing fine. And one day, Tony went down, she'd been in town or something, knocked on Granny's door to say hi, and no answer. So she opened the door and peeked in and hollered for Granny again, and still no answer. So she's not really real concerned, but she goes in the house and looks around and can't find Granny. So now she is a little tense about the whole situation. The bathroom door is closed. She runs over, opens the bathroom door. There's Granny sitting on the pot. And without even raising an eyebrow, she just got a big grin on her face, and she said, "Why, come right on in, dearie. I'm just a-having my annual." Now, how cool is that? But, you know, the warp speed thing kind of, I got to thinking about it again, and I think another reason that she can travel at that speed is that she's made such a shambles out of the personality classification called Type A. And there's just no doubt in my mind that somewhere not too far down the road, the gurus that make all these psychological dissertations and classifications are going to have to relegate Type A to second place. And they're going to form a new one, and you know what it's going to be. Type T. Actually, all of that makes me feel like kind of a couch potato, and I think, God, maybe I am a couch potato. Anyway, you can't talk about Tony without saying the word midwives, and we've heard it here a lot tonight. And I would certainly go along with that and say, you know, as far as Tony's concerned, first a mother, then a bride, then first a nurse, then a bride, then a mother, then something happened that really defined her, and that's midwifery. And it's hard for me to know for sure whether midwifery found her or she found midwifery, but she does such a beautiful job of it. It's been really a wow to watch and to see that every mother and father and child whose births she has attended and assisted, the whole group are left with such an incredible bond, a lifetime bond of friendship and respect, and I really admire that. And I don't know how many pictures of little babies are on our downstairs wall, but it's got to be getting up into the hundreds. And so I told Tony, I said, "Look, honey, you can put as many of those pictures up on the wall of those new babies down there as you want to, as long as I don't have to put them through college." Actually, I'm getting to the end of this. I have a great idea for when she finally puts her ultrasound on Craigslist. Who better to author some books on midwifery? So I was really thinking about it, and I had some ideas. I thought that maybe a first volume would be Labor Pains, a Popular Myth. The subtitle would be, "I know it's a tad uncomfortable, honey, but could you keep it down a little? My husband is upstairs trying to get some sleep, and he has an early tea time." And then book 2 would be, of course, When Push Comes to Shove. The subtitle would be, "Don't try any of those tricks on me, kid. You're coming out of there whether you want to or not." And the last of the try series, I thought maybe would be a glossary of descriptive vocabulary for the laboring of dainty first-time mothers. The subtitle would be, "Words You Thought Only a Sailor Knew." Well, that's enough. Let me say with no more comedy, no puns, no plays on words or anything, that we love you, Tony. I certainly love you, Tony. And our kids, I love you, you kids. And I'm so grateful. Bless you, kids. Bless you, Tony. And bless you, friends. Thanks.